people in your company make as much as you do?
Oh boy,
About
there's, I don't know, dozen, 2 dozen.
a dozen or 2 dozen. So, and you work with $1 billion company.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are extremely rare. You're extremely uncommon, and you also hang out with the other dozen, 2 dozen that make what you make, right?
Well, a lot of those guys are retired. I don't see them anymore.
Well, some, the ones that aren't, the ones that aren't. But here's
Yeah.
what I know. Oh, the question that I want to ask you, and then I want to have you expand upon, is what makes you special? What makes you top 20 in your company? What makes you and them different from a person struggling to make $1,000 a month, a person that hit the wall at $5,000 a month, or the person who all they can make is $100,000 a year, or whatever? What characteristic or characteristics do you have and that you see as common with the rest of that group that make you special?
I'm going to answer that by giving you a book to read and a word to understand. And
Okay.
the book to read, it goes on sale today on Amazon. It's a great friend of mine who studied the origin of words. Bob Proctor is buying these by the case. He can't believe it. It's called Aspire by Kevin Hall.
Okay.
Hope people go get it. It is remarkable because he teaches you words. Okay, so we've heard this before that, if you know your why, the how's going to figure itself out.
Yep.
But I like to know why I have my why. Okay, so dig a little deeper, if you will. Analyze, really look inside introspectively about you. For whatever reason, growing up as a young man, in the environment that I was in with a single parent household, I would ask my mother for money all of the time. So my mom said something very brilliant. She didn't know she was doing this. But she would say, son, you better make a lot of money when you get older. Now think about what most parents would say when the teenager has the handout all the time. What are they going to say? It doesn't grow on trees. What do you think I am, made of money? All that kind of stuff. My mom said, son, you better make a lot of money. Well, I had a self-esteem problem as a child. It was enormous. Being raised by a single parent, it was my brother and I and my mom. We were living most of the time with my grandparents while she was working and trying to, take care of the family. I got a job at the age of 12, and I was with that job all the way until network marketing. And so there's a word that I want to share with you that I think everyone has to find inside their why, and that is diligence. Now, what is the origin of the word diligence? The Indo-European origin, di, to separate. Diligence, moving forward. If you're a diligent person on your task, if you want to look at George Washington, if you want to look at Leonardo da Vinci, they were all extremely passionate and diligent. And so if you're diligent in your trade, you are in network marketing a tremendous student, as we talked on the phone the other day. You love that part of the journey. But I know when you get in front of that crowd that the real Eric comes out and sharing your passion for what you can raise that crowd to achieve. That's what Mark Hughes had. Can I tell you a quick Mark Hughes story that'll never leave me?
Absolutely.
We were standing in his backyard. He often had parties. This is where we learned to have fun. He had parties. He bought Kenny Rogers' house years ago. And it was in Bel Air. It was a spectacular setting. And there was me and him and about a 6'3" young man that was about, let's see, I was probably 20 at the time. This other guy was probably 22, 23. Mark was maybe 25 or 6, maybe 27, living in Bel Air. And this young man from Australia named Andrew, we were standing and looking up at this palatial estate. And he looked at Mark and he said, will we ever live like this? And the brilliance of Mark Hughes, without hesitation, said, you bet your life you will. The ability to raise Andrew's expectations, the ability to make people believe in them that they can do it. Because corporate America doesn't do that for them. School doesn't do that for them. You and I do that. That's what we do for a living. We look into the audience, and in your eyes and mine, it's nothing but green lights. But other people have yellow and red lights.
Mm-hmm.
And I see green. I see possibilities. I mean, you've seen it. I've seen it. People that couldn't speak the English language that are millionaires in this country today because of network marketing.
Yep.
It's awesome to be able to raise yourself to that level. One more story, if I could.
Yeah.
Og Mandino in 1968 sat down at his typewriter, and he typed all night with a Danish and a cup of coffee, and those scrolls were born.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Unbelievable. He handed them to his wife the next morning, and she made one correction is all. Only one out of the first scroll. The second scroll, I will greet this day with love in my heart. Muscle can split a shield and even destroy life, but only the unseen power of love can open the hearts of men. And until I master this art, I will remain no more than a peddler in the marketplace. Now, I just gave you the first paragraph of scroll number 2. And so what Og Mandino did was he penned some brilliance that gives you and I a chance to learn from what he learned from. Who did he learn from? George Washington had his 13 attributes or qualities that he studied every day for 60 some odd years of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Og Mandino gave us another way to look at it.
Yeah.
Now think about the things we're talking about here, Eric. We're talking about some deep stuff. We're taking people to school right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking them in the eye and saying, look, for things to change, you've got to change. And it's not just words, folks.
Mm-hmm.
It's as real as you and I are sitting here on Skype technology that didn't even exist 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And the world can see this in a matter of minutes when you upload it. I'm just simply trying to communicate, look, it's possible.
Yeah. Let me. I'll tell you one quick story about Og. We had Og at TPN, and the last speech he gave before he passed away, the very last one, before we lost him, he gave this talk, and everybody went crazy, as you can imagine. And then afterwards, he said, "You know what? I'll stay and I'll sign autographs and take pictures and sign books for as long as there are people." And he sat, at his age, for 7 hours behind a table. And one by one looked him in the eye and told him that they had greatness inside of them, that they could do it, and they would be... I mean, for 7 hours. I don't know very many people that would take pictures for more than a half an hour with a big group of people, let alone sit there for 7 hours and do that. So it kind of showed his heart and showed what we're talking about. And I do hear what you're saying, and I hope the audience hears what you're saying, which is this. What we do, the difference between the superstars, quote unquote, the high income earners and the low income earners, is the high income earners help other people see a bigger vision for themselves than they could see without that leader. They lift up, like Art Williams pushing up people.
Great book.
They lift up an organization and they let them know that even while no one else might believe in them, that you do, and that this group of people are there to support them and help them. Do you really think that's the major difference between the common denominator with the top earners that you know and spend time with?
It's interesting. I'm with an international company, and so when we do our top group meetings, we're with people from 50 different countries in the world, and it's interesting to see that from Russia to China, they want the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make a contribution, Eric. They really do. It's very warming to know that there's humanity alive and well. Humanity is out there. We got to look for it, okay? We're not going to find it on the news tonight.
Yeah.
There's goodness in a lot of people's hearts. And I just want to tell you, as honestly as I can, I get on my knees every morning and I pray for that opportunity. Every single day. I pray for the opportunity that I can meet somebody else. Oh, a great story. Larry King had Joel Osteen. I'm sure you know Joel.
Sure.
One of my favorite quotes, I don't watch Larry King that often. He just happens to be the neighbor of my business partner. And so Joel says, Larry, he says, I think too many people are looking for a miracle in their life. When in fact, they should be looking to be the miracle in someone else's life.
Great quote.
Oh, it just makes me feel so grateful that I found my dream. I found my passion. I get to do what I love to do every day. And one quick story, maybe this will help the true network marketer understand what I mean here.
Okay.
I'm doing a meeting in Sacramento not long ago, And I get this young guy come up to me, and you get these people, they violate your airspace.
Yeah.
I mean, he is right in my grill, and he's literally with a raised voice telling me all the things he's doing every day to try to recruit and to sell our products.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sell, I'm trying to recruit, I'm doing everything you guys tell me to do every day, all day long. Finally, he ran out of air, and I just took a step back, and I said, that's interesting. I said, I don't spend my day doing that.
Right.
And you saw him completely relax, and he says, what do you mean? And I said, I'm out there trying to make a friend.
Yep.
You're out there trying to sell.
Yep.
Big difference.
If people could hear that concept, we build a network through relationships. We don't build it through a pitch.
Exactly.
We build it through friendships. We build it through long-term connection with other human beings. We lift other people up. We push them up. We help them aspire, like that book that you recommended, aspire to higher expectations for themselves. I heard a great quote once that said, one of our chief wants in this life is for someone to show up and make us do what we can. Which is, I think, is so good, because isn't that true? Having that teacher show up and won't let you skate by, or that coach show up and say, no, sorry, give me 10 more push-ups, one more time around, someone to push you to help you do something special. I think that's so true.